Hi, Virgo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your June 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. When we start the month of June, the Sun and Jupiter are in Gemini, and you have something in common with Gemini. You're both ruled by Mercury. So the Mercury transits are relevant, especially relevant to those two signs. And the other thing that is significant about Gemini is that it's your 10th house of career and social standing. So in June, when the Sun is there along with Jupiter, it's very strong for those things. But Jupiter is going into a new sign. And so that means that it's going to progress to the 11th house. This is a general reading, so it's going to depend on the individual Virgo Sun arising when this is actually going to happen for you. I'm just giving a general time of the transits. So when the Sun is in the 10th house, you may be very career minded. And I mean, you might be like embodying ambition and things of that nature. Jupiter has more time to kind of bless you with its benevolent energy. And so I'm gonna start chronologically. On the 6th of the month, Venus goes into Taurus. Taurus is a fellow earth sign, and this is going to go into your ninth house. The ninth house is Sagittarius's house in astrology. The Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so that kind of whatever that represents, that's what the ninth house represents. And some of the big themes of the ninth house, well, the big theme is expansion. And for some people, it could be intellectual expansion through connections with the university environment, whether a person is teaching there or whether they are enrolling there or whatever, or graduating or something along those lines. And so the other big area that the ninth house, well, besides this is the God house. So anything to do with spirituality, religion, especially organized types of philosophical, like a philosophical framework type of religious studies and involvement is featured, but long distance travel. And Venus can be love. You could find love with somebody who is from a different country, what we would call like nationality, ethnicity, or even race. Maybe you find money to be able to travel. On the 8th, Mercury goes into Cancer. So this is, just to make it clear, the Taurus energy trines you, which is the most cooperative angle, what we call like, I don't say good or bad, but harmonious, cooperative. So it makes, when two planets are trining one another, the energy that they bring when they come together is going to be very easy to manifest. And the sextile, which Cancer is to you, is also a harmonious angle. But it's unlike the trine, which kind of can almost come to a person without much effort. The trine, you do have to exert a little bit of effort to get there, but it still is, that easy flowing energy. And so you have a lot of that this month. So it should be very good for you. And this is a month, because of all our retrogrades, to go for it in terms of some of the goals that you have been trying to achieve. they may come way easier now. So Mercury is your ruler, and it's going into Cancer, and that is your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of gains. And by the way, Jupiter will be there the next day. The house of gains means profits. So it means money from your business, from your career. Okay, so Jupiter going into that house on the 9th could be something that indicates you're going to have uh, an uptick or an upgrade in your earning capacity, in your not just capacity, but maybe what's actually happening. So, actually, the 11th house is connected to money, so that's really good for that. When Jupiter was in your 10th house, it may have expanded your um, potential for career e- opportunities, and this may be connected to your earning abilities. So, Mercury going into the 11th house can be contacting friends. It can be that you are actively thinking about your hopes and wishes. That's another thing. The 11th house can be your friendships and the groups that you belong to, but also your hopes and wishes, which are your long range goals. And you might be actively thinking about those things. On the 11th, we have a full moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. This falls in your 4th house of home and family. And the 4th house is also your childhood, your past. And the full moon can bring things up. Either it can bring up a secret from the past, or the 4th house can be your mother. For some, it might represent the father, but it's like, so the parent, one of the parents, and therefore the person is having some kind of realization about their interactions with their parents. And the significance of that is that sometimes when we have experienced certain traumas, it's easy to over simplify, over generalize what has happened, like not really seeing the bigger picture of a situation. And when you see the bigger picture, you're able to see the other person, their motivation, and it frees you in the process because you realize that it wasn't about you. It was about what they were dealing with, and you just happened to symbolize something that maybe was their trigger point or whatever. If it was something to do with abuse and that kind of thing, or like with Virgo, it can be excessive criticism, or being demanding that the Virgo person achieves things. And you realize that they either experienced that themselves, or that they were feeling inadequate and they were trying to find some way to feel successful in life. It's not about making it right, but it's just about being able to put it in the proper context so that you're not walking around blaming yourself, or just thinking it's all your fault, and things like that. So it can be very freeing, and it can be very healing, this full moon. But it could be something as simple as you decide, you know what, I do want to move with Venus in the 9th house. You might even be tempted to move because you're in love with somebody from a foreign country and you want to be where they are. Yeah. On the 17th, Mars goes into your sign. Oh, this is great. This is really great, Virgo, because you haven't had Mars in Virgo for a really long time. And I don't have my ephemeris for 2024, but um, we spent so much time with Mars in Cancer and Leo towards the end of the year, and the first 5 months of this year, that Virgo, Mars might, I don't know the last time Mars was in Virgo, but it's been a hot minute. And that means that when it hasn't been in your sign, you may have not felt as motivated, because this is a great time. This is in your first house. I mean, even physically motivated. So you may be chomping at the bit to start some kind of exercise routine that is, stepping it up a notch. You might be just having general energy that you haven't had in a long time, and that can feel really good. You might feel like, where is this energy coming from? And you also, for Virgo, and I hesitate to say this because one time I said that Virgos were, I don't know, wallflowers or something like that. I said I have the moon in Virgo, so I can joke about that. But I said something, and they were like, I had all these people. I said that Virgo is the servant, which it is. Virgo is the servant, the sixth house. That's one of the archetypes of Virgo, and of the sixth house is the servant energy. And there's nothing wrong with being a servant. That just goes to show how many people are in their ego, that they think that there's something wrong with serving another person, and really practicing that humility to the nth degree. But anyway, I do feel that Virgo is a sign that tends not to assert itself, and so I think that having Mars in Virgo is a good thing for you. It will give you more confidence and ability to assert yourself, and that will also take you far and wide. And a lot of you will still have Jupiter in your 10th house, so that would be a great combination actually to have. Um, yeah, in your 10th house, because Jupiter goes into Cancer officially on the 9th, but that's at 0 degrees of Cancer. So um, it depends on what your 11th degree cusp is. Okay, so on the 20th, the sun goes into Cancer. This is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Um, and, if you're in winter, then that is still the same power period, just a different season. And this is an energetic portal unto itself. For Virgo, this is the 11th house, and then we actually have a new moon here, an early degree, uh, new moon in Cancer, 4 degrees of Cancer on the 25th. So, falling in your 11th house, and actually Jupiter will be in conjunction with this, so that makes it extra special. And, like I said, this is a money house, and Jupiter can be about money as well. So you may be able to come up with some sort of long range goal that has the ability to generate um, a nice living for you. That's one possibility. Also, with Jupiter in the 11th house, this could expand your social networks. And it can also give you help from your friends. You know, they can be of assistance to you. They might be lucky for you in some way. So this new moon just kind of boosts some of that because it can bring these things into your current reality. The very next day, on the 26th of June, we have Mercury going into Leo, and that's your 12th house. And this is going to begin the process, albeit a little bit early, because the Leo season won't fully take root until about a month later. There's going to be a new moon in Leo, I think the 24th of July. So that's, the sun goes into Leo, almost a month later. But that begins your hibernation period when the sun goes there. I mean, these other planets too will give that effect because the 12th house is the house of solitude. So a person who is experiencing 12th house planets, and I would say especially the personal planets, may feel less inclined to socialize, for instance. Like, for instance, when Mercury was in your 11th house, you may be like getting in touch with a lot of people. But then you might want to spend more time alone. And as a matter of fact, I was just thinking, Mercury is your mind, and of course you're ruled by Mercury. So I feel like a lot of Virgo people are high strung, so they tend to worry too much, and they tend to have anxiety. Maybe not the most serious forms of anxiety, but anxiety nonetheless. And it can make you overthink things. And so I feel like there might even be, for some of you, the desire to go on a mental, like on a retreat, where you don't, like, I think it's like Vipassana, I don't know how you say that, where it's like a silent retreat for 10 days. That's the kind of thing that you probably would really love to do. So in any case, there might be some reason why you're going within, and that might involve less talking, trying to meditate and think less and be more. So yeah, and that'll give you, when Mercury's in the 12th, watch your dreams. You could have a lot of prophetic dreams. You might be more creative and really tuning into being inspired by spiritual energy from or influences, and just be more psychic in general, have more psychic activity. Yeah, so that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, please check the link below. I have all kinds of readings and package deals. So I hope you have a great month. Take care. Bye.